Hello, hello, my beautiful sisters and my handsome brothers. It is your girl, Dr. Shauna Etienne. I want to talk to you guys about what we can do and need to start doing to protect our children. I want to give you guys some information on a case. Well, two different cases. One, the girl name is Kashala Francis, age 13. She ended up dying after she went into a coma as a result of being jumped in school. And now this child is deceased. And there's another child, Renaya Wright, who was 10 years old. She died March 27th of this year after engaging in a fight. So I want to talk about this because these are some things that have been happening in our community. It continues to happen in our community. And it's not me saying it doesn't happen in other communities, but as many of you guys know, I couldn't care less about any other community. I am speaking about our community and why this is an issue and why we need to get it together. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this, people. I got my little notes here because you know we got to look at this from so many different angles. I see so many problems with this case, not only in terms of these two black little girls, not only with the video recording of at least one of the fights that wind up on the internet, right? This seems to be a trend that's going on, but of the school, how the school is handling the situation, and law enforcement, and the medical industry. In the medical industry, we have to really talk about this. We got to really talk about this. So here we go. Kashala Francis, age 13. She is now transitioned, gone way too soon. This is a girl who was jumped by two teenagers when she was walking home from school. And the girl, Kashala, apparently, let me not even say apparently. Well, apparently, I'm gonna use the word apparently. Apparently, she had a tumor in her head, and they're not sure if this tumor led to her death. So, of course, after the fight, after the girl slips into consciousness, of course, they're going to discover this tumor. And I'm not saying she doesn't have a tumor. I'm not saying she didn't have water on her brain, right? So it's funny how when we get these kind of incidents, the narrative, they start to shape the narrative. Because you guys see, I'm trying not to get myself upset here, because if we read this article just on the surface as it is, if we don't think critically, if we don't give this article any deeper thoughts, we're going to take this story and then run with it and beat up our community. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm about to beat us up. I am. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, because there are some things within our community that we need to get it all the way together. And we need to be serious about this. We need to get back to the village. We need to start seeing everyone's children as our own. We need to start educating our children and letting them know what the consequences are of such behaviors. So it doesn't excuse any of that. And I'm going to get to that. Trust me when I say I'm going to be as objective as possible when it comes to addressing issues in our community with love that we need to get better at. But it doesn't excuse the fact of how these narratives are being used in the articles. There are a lot of people who look at our children and they see our children as untamed. They see our children as animals, and they make the assumption that if the child behaves in this way, The mother, usually the mother, right? Usually we get blamed for everything. The mother behaves in this manner too, or the family is like that as well, right? So when you have this kind of mindset and you see us as animals, you see us as wild, uncivilized, untamed, and you make these assumptions about parenting and how our household dynamics are, chances of us being treated fairly, chances of our children being protected from bullying, chances of our children getting prompt medical care, chances of our children getting a fear narrative in the media is slim to none. It's slim to none. So who is this Kashala? I already told you Kashala Francis is 13 years old and she's now deceased. There have been no arrests made in connection to her death. She's walking home from school where she is approached by at least 2 teenagers who decide on that day they're going to fight her. They're going to fight her together. They're going to jump her. They're going to get it in. Not only did they decide that they were going to fight Kashala, but as always, in this day and age, what do you think was happening? There were other children around. There were children laughing, and there were children videotaping the incident. These girls were seen on a video kicking this little girl in her head, stomping on her, and children was just laughing and recording this incident. Just laughing and recording. And when it comes to the school, and the school's narrative, see, the school is not going to immediately take accountability or accept responsibility for all of this that has occurred. The school has called it an off-campus altercation. An off-campus altercation. See, we got to pay attention to narratives. We got to pay attention to the words, the choice words. We have to pay attention to language. When you call it an off-campus altercation, you're basically saying is that happened off of our grounds. We had nothing to do with it. We could not prevent it. It has nothing to do with us. See, because they're going to try to protect themselves from holding any responsibility, and they're going to protect themselves from any lawsuits that may occur. You immediately have, and I get why the police department, Houston Police Department, this happened in Houston, Texas. I get why they're not calling it a homicide right now, right? So they're saying it's pending an investigation. I get why they're being slower with it. But I also see in between the lines of what's happening here. And I'm going to tell you guys why, because I'm going to tie it into something else. Immediately, they talk about an off-campus altercation. Immediately, they're saying, we don't know if it's going to be homicide. No arrests have been made. It was, as of right now, it's a fight because this young girl, check this out, people. Yes, everybody was black. This young girl apparently had a tumor in her head. And they're saying they cannot say, medically speaking, as of yet, until the autopsy is complete. They cannot say if the tumor caused the child's death or the fight caused the child's death. But here's the thing I want to say about this case that we need to address. This girl comes home and she complains to her mother. No, let me take that back. She comes home Thursday afternoon. She comes home this past Thursday afternoon, and she had bruises and scratches on her face and everything. And her mother asked her what was wrong. And this girl comes back and she tells her mother, nothing is wrong. Nothing happened. Now, let me stop right there for a second. Let me stop right there for a second. You come home from school. Your mama sees you with scratches on your face and bruises. That's what it said. That's what her mother said. She came home with bruises. bruises. As to what happened, the girl says nothing wrong. Now, I'm not beating up on his mother. I'm just going to take it from my perspective as being a mother. If my children, and maybe because I'm born and raised in the Bronx, and getting in fights is something that many of us did. Now, engaging in fights is something that I had to do. Not that I wanted to do it, I had to do it because, like the incident with this girl, if two people are rolling up on you and you know they're going to fight you regardless. See, my mother, maybe I'm old school. Maybe, you know, they do things a little bit differently now, right? Y'all know I'm a 70s baby. So maybe things are being done a little bit differently now. But when I was growing up, what my mother always taught me was if people come to jump you, you better hold on to one of them and kick the living SHIT out of them, right? You better hold on because they're going to jump you regardless. And this is how my mother had prepared me. So I understand, and I don't agree with none of this stuff. I want to make that very clear. I don't agree with it, but I understand that if somebody is coming toward you and they're going to jump you, you're going to have to fight. So if I came in my house and my hair looked crazy, if they can get to my face, and I'm not trying to be funny, but if they can get to my face, and if I had any scratches on my face, and my mother said to me, maybe I had a different relationship with my mother, I don't know. But if my mother said to me, and this has happened before, Shauna, what the hell happened to your hair and your face? And if I say, yo, they jumped me, it's a phone call, and my mother is going outside with our dog. We had a retired police officer dog, a German Shepherd. His name was Rocky. My mother, Rocky, my brother, my cousin Sharifa, my friend Tamara, my girl Alexis, my girl Tamik. We're going to somebody's block. We want to see the child and the mother. We want to see the crew. There's going to be a problem. But to say nothing and there's no further action with your child, I don't know if that's how it went down. I want to be honest. I don't know if that's how it went down, but that is how they are communicating it in the newspaper.